Hello, everybody. Today, by request, we have a comparison between two shoes that I've really enjoyed, and both did actually take time to grow on me. So the first one is the Adidas Adizero Takumi Sen 11, and the second is the Adidas Adizero Adios 9. They have very similar uppers, very similar outsoles, and actually very similar insoles. That's a weird thing to notice. And the same laces. Yeah. So now, what are they? The Adios 9 is a racing flat that has actually been extremely useful as a daily trainer for me. It has Light Strike Pro. It has 3 stripes. It has this flappy boy. And it is 27 mil in the heel, 20 in the forefoot. And what is the Takumi Sen? Well, and it has also a flappy boy. It is a 5 to 10K racing shoe. It has Light Strike Pro, carbon fiber rods, glass fiber or fiberglass rods, not carbon this time. Though their marketing material for the 10 included that it had carbon fiber rods. The marketing material for the Takumi Sen 11 says that has glass fiber rods. I'm not really sure what that makes a difference in. Maybe it's like rigidity or flexibility, or could be durability as well. I do believe it's to tune the level of flex in the rods. I'm just not quite sure in which direction. So what have I done in either of these shoes or in both of these shoes? I've primarily used the Adios 9 for daily miles. I've done a couple like quicker paced runs, like tempo runs in the Adios 9, but it's been really typically at my everyday pace that I've felt the most comfortable in this. The Takumi Sen 11 is a track day shoe. It is pretty harsh when you run slowly in it. So the 2 runs that I've done in it so far have been on, the first one was on the road, and that really hurt me and gave me a lot of hot spots. And then on the track, it was a lot smoother, and I was doing 800 intervals. So it felt a lot better, and I'm actually looking forward to running in this again the next time I have some speed work come up. So quick differences that I noticed. First one being, they have a very similar upper construction. So the Adios 9, let's see if I can get a little, yeah. So this plastic piece here, or like plasticier piece, wraps all the way around the heel and goes down into the midfoot right about there. And that's actually present also on the Takumi. And it's the same basic construction of the plasticky piece, right? It's also got the light lock system, which is this sort of rigid band. Maybe I don't know how easy it's going to be to see in the Takumi. Yeah, so this right here, if you can see that, runs all the way around the shoe. And creates, yeah, you can see it there, creates a unidirectional flex in the shoe that is also present on the Adios 9, as you can see right there, right? Where the shoe starts to differ, though, is in the tongue. I much prefer the tongue on the Adios 9. It is sort of like a double fabric, not suede, but sort of like a synthetic suede almost feeling, padded, not non-padded, but thick fabric tongue. Whereas on the Takumi, you have this more, actually more padded, but not double-sided fabric. So this has like a different density fabric here, and on the inside you'll see some actual padding running on the inside. I'm assuming it's to protect from lace bite in the event that you have to really cinch down the Takumi, because the purpose for this is a little less flexible while it's still the same. I mean, it's supposed to be a, 5 to 10K racer. This is also supposed to be a racing flat that you could use for 5 to 10K races. I think that, with all of the tech in this is what people are actually going to choose to race in between the two of these. If they're choosing to race in these over the Adios Pro 4, of course. But probably the tongue difference is to protect against the atrocious laces from shredding the top of your foot to tendons and meat. But in the Adios 9, I didn't have any issues with the laces and the lacing system, or I had far fewer issues with the lacing system than I did in the Takumi, right? So those are the only differences on the upper is the tongue. Everything else is bang on identical. Midsole, these two foams feel different. I don't know how many different versions there are of Light Strike Pro. These are not the same Light Strike Pro. It makes me suspicious even yet again that this Light Strike Pro might be the previous generation, because this feels a lot closer to what's in the Evo SL. The Adios 9 Light Strike Pro feels a lot closer to the Evo SL than the foam that's in the Takumi Sen 11. The softening in this has been helpful and appreciated over the 10. The 10 was very harsh. This is still pretty harsh to run. And so if you don't like a firmer foam, even though this is significantly softer than the previous generation, and Light Strike Pro does break in over time, it is still a firm foam. And it's interesting because this is even firmer to the touch, but dynamically on the road, it doesn't feel as harsh as the Takumi Sen 11. That's got to be down to the rods in the Takumi providing extra rigidity. So how do I feel about these shoes? This is a beloved one for me. I've made a video on this, retiring it, sending it off into the no longer my concern ether of shoes. And here I am talking about it again because these two really do need to be talked about in context of each other. Yeah, this was a really beloved shoe. I put a lot of miles on it. I walked across Spain in it, not the whole distance of Spain, but through all the cities wearing this. I actually brought both the Adios 9 and the Evo SL on that trip and was going to train in both of them, but ended up doing most of my miles in the Adios 9. So loved it. It's a really good shoe. It suffers from the symptomatic problems of being Adidas's shoe, right? The laces and the wonky upper fit. Although this is the best fitting Adidas upper and the best implementation of the light lock system between these two shoes. And if I had more use on the Adios Pro 4, I would say that this is better than the Adios Pro 4. But I tried the Adios Pro 4 on in a store, and the heel collar immediately started rubbing me, so I decided not to buy it. That's the reason I don't have it. It was a top contender for race shoe for me for this last cycle, but I ended up with a Metaspeed Edge Paris instead, because that did not slice and dice my Achilles upon putting it on, right? Maybe the Adios Pro 4 wouldn't do that for me if I tried harder to get a better fit, maybe tried a couple different sizes on it, but I did not do that. I was there on a mission. But I think that this is the best implementation of the upper out of those three shoes based on that one experience with Adios Pro 4, but certainly the better implementation between the two of these. And I really think it does come down to the tongue. This is also a bit narrower feeling. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, or even if there isn't a width difference by measurement. I am going to order some calipers, so stay tuned for that, and I will be able to give you a bit more information. Yeah, it looks, I don't know, you tell me. I think the Takumi looks a little wider, personally, and it feels wider on foot. It feels more voluminous and wider on foot than the Adios 9. But overall, those are my thoughts on the two, how they compare to each other. What would I use them for? If I was racing, I would go with the Takumi. if I had to choose between these two. If I was doing like a fast 10K up to maybe even like a 10 miler, I would go with the Takumi over the Adios 9. It's faster. I mean, it has the rods, which also provide, the flex and the stability for the foam. It's also higher stack. It's 33 down to 26 for a 7 mil drop. Both are 7 mil drops. If I were doing this daily miles or like even a workout, no, I would still pick the Takumi for a workout. But for anything slower than a workout or a race, I would be all day in the Adios 9. I've thought about buying a second pair of these. I just can't be buying multiple pairs of the same shoe anymore. It's not a good use of my money if I'm bringing this information to you. But I've thought about it. It's a really good shoe. Yeah, those are the different use cases. Even if this is positioned as a racing flat, I think that it has really outshone that use case for daily training for me personally. Whereas the Takumi, I still have more testing to do on this. I have not made a verdict on if I love it or just sort of like it, because the first run I had in it was so rough and hurt my feet so much. And the second run in it, it blew me out of the water. Like, I was totally surprised by how much I enjoyed my workout in this, comparing it to the Streak Fly, right? I mean, the Streak Fly is still freaking incredible to run in. So that's like in a league of its own, but the Takumi held up really well against it, especially considering I had such a bad run in it the day before that. So yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts on these two shoes and their context in the broader spectrum of 5 to 10K racing and training miles. Yeah, love the Adios 9. Still more thoughts to come on the Takumi Sen 11. I appreciate your attention. If there are any, 5 to 10K racing shoes that I haven't brought up in the context of this larger conversation that you want to hear about from me on, please do tell me. I can only research and keep up with so much shoe information on my own. So I love hearing from y'all. It's been really great getting some positive feedback, some also negative feedback like constructive criticism. I welcome that as well. So yeah, have a good night. Say hi to the family, pet your dogs, pet your cats. Have a good one.